Okay, so somebody recently made a comment on one of my videos where they actually replied to somebody else's comment, and they said they stopped watching my channel because of a feature I claimed the GMC Denali half-ton that we have was lacking that my Ford truck has and a Ram truck would have. And it's interesting to me because I don't think the person who made that comment actually understood what I was talking about and why I was saying the feature was lacking. So let me talk about that real quick. I'm currently inside of this 2024 GMC Denali Ultimate HD pickup truck. This is a 3/4 ton pickup truck, and it has the same situation or the same thing going on as my half-ton 2023 GMC Denali 1500 truck. Now, I talked about the push button start, and whenever you get into a GM truck with push button start and remote start, and whenever you remote start the truck, you have to get into the truck, push the brake pedal, press the start button for the truck to actually turn on all your electrical features, like your air conditioning controls, other things like that, your radio controls, all of that. So let's say I'm walking up to my truck in the morning, I double click the remote start button to remote start the truck starts up remotely, I haven't gone in the truck yet, and I sit down and I try to hit the start button, the engine start button. It won't do anything until I physically press the brake pedal, and then I have to press the start button. Now, it may not seem like a big deal to people, and it's not really a big deal to me either, but one of the things that I pointed out was that when you get into like my Ford F450 or Ford truck, I can simply get in the truck. I don't have to press the brake pedal. I can just press the start button, and all the electronics come alive, the climate controls. Why did I say that was a negative against the GM trucks? It wasn't because I'm nitpicking. It's because, let me give you another scenario. My wife is walking to the truck. She sits in the passenger seat. I remote start the truck for her so it can cool down, right? She goes to the truck, I unlock the door, she hops in the passenger seat of the truck, even if she has the key in her hand. Let's say that she's walking out to the truck, I'm gonna be loading something heavy in the back. So she's getting in the passenger side of the truck's remote started, she has the key fob in her hand, so we're not talking about a scenario where you can press a button without a key fob. She sits down in the passenger seat and she wants to be able to control the air conditioning or the radio or something. She wants to be able to turn the vehicle on, not necessarily to move it, but to be able to control like the air conditioning controls. Well, she won't be able to. She can get in the passenger seat, she can hit the start button all she wants, nothing's gonna happen. And if I get into the driver's seat and I push the brake and hit the start button, then everything lights up. So my wife has zero control over what's going on in the vehicle from the passenger seat, even though she has the key fob, until somebody gets in the driver's seat to press the brake down to hit the start button. Now, that is simply a gripe only because we've never dealt with that issue before. On my Ford truck, she could have the key, she could remote start it herself as she's walking up, she hops into the passenger side, she presses the start button, she can control the air conditioning, she can control the radio, she can do whatever she needs to do without physically having to push the brake button, which means she doesn't have to get out of the truck, go to the driver's side, get in, push the brake button, and then hit the start button. So I believe that's a valid thing to say when you're talking about the differences between vehicles, because it's a difference, and it was a noticeable difference the first time my wife had the key fob in her hand to our Denali. She remote starts it, she's gonna go inside the truck and wait for me. She gets inside of the truck, she puts our daughter in the back seat first, she hops in the passenger seat, she tries to hit the start button, nothing happens. The air conditioning is blasting super, super high. She wants to turn it down, she wants to adjust the radio, she wants to do different things, but she can't do anything because she didn't get in the driver's side first, press the brake down, and then hit the start button. So I hope that makes sense to folks. And for the person who stopped watching my channel simply because I pointed out a difference that I didn't really care for with this truck versus, or at least my half-ton truck versus what our Ford truck does, it doesn't make me a fanboy. It just simply demonstrates a feature that's different between the two trucks, and a feature that I prefer on the Ford truck versus the GM truck. I think it makes somebody a fanboy whenever they criticize someone for pointing out a difference. That to me is a fanboy. That to me is someone who says, I don't have the feature So what if your truck does? If you point out the fact that I don't have that feature, you're obviously a fanboy of the truck that has that feature. And to me, that makes zero sense.